Adrian, welcome back to my channel. Today is part 3 of my series. In today's video are all my open series. If you notice, my bookshelves are kind of empty because half of these books are series that I have not yet finished. The reason I'm doing this whole series, like I said in my first video, is to get a hold of what I actually have open and what I've finished so that I can kind of keep track of my progress and be proud of myself and actually encourage myself to continue on. I have a whole bunch of open series. These are only the series that are either completely published and are completed, or the next book, the last book, is being published this year. There are other books that I have open series of that are currently running. They're not published yet. Only the first book's out or the last book is still coming out or what have you. These are just the ones that are completed or nearly completed. First up is the Lunar Chronicles. This one, I have had the first 3 books completed for about 2 years now. And the last book I have been putting off, but you'll be proud of me because if you can tell my little bookmark here, I have started winter. Finally, I have started winter. I'm doing this half audio, half reading to kind of get myself going because this one's 800 pages long and this is the reason that I haven't done it. But this book, this series will be completed and will be on my completed series for next year. Hallelujah, finally. If you don't know what the Lunar Chronicles is, these are sci-fi fairy tale retellings, which was really intriguing to me. And these are retellings of Cinderella, Little Red Riding Hood, Rapunzel, and Snow White. What I loved about these, I was kind of skeptical going in when I first read Cinder because I thought that I'd be able to predict the ending because you know the stories of all these 3 fairy tales, but you totally can't. And they're also not loose stories. They're all connected to one another and they all go on this grand adventure. So far, I'm loving winter. I would definitely recommend this series, even if you're not a sci-fi lover, because I am not a sci-fi lover and I still enjoyed this series. Speaking of sci-fi series, next up is the Illuminae Chronicles. I believe Obsidian is the last book. I think there are 3. I could be totally wrong, guys, and in that case I am so sorry, but I'm assuming that there are only 3. I have read Illuminae. I have yet to read Gemina, but it is on my list for possibly March or April because I would like to read the 3rd one. I enjoyed Illuminae. This was the first real sci-fi book that I read last year and I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 5 stars, so I'm looking forward to Gemina. I have heard that some people don't like it quite as much as Illuminae, but I am looking forward to it nonetheless. In case you don't know, the Illuminae files are told through a series of files and computer things, and it's really, really interesting. I loved it. It was not what I expected it to be. Again, this was one that I went into skeptically because I'm not a huge sci-fi fan, but I did really enjoy this one. If you are not a huge sci-fi fan and you're looking to get into sci-fi, I would definitely recommend this series. Next up is a series that I'm not going to pull off my bookshelf because it's all the way on top, so I just pulled out the first book, but that's the Harry Potter series. For those of you who don't know, I have never actually finished the Harry Potter series in its entirety. I still have to read the last 2 books. I do plan on doing that this year. I do them mostly through audiobook. I might end up reading one this year, but they're really long and I have other books to read. So the Harry Potter series is on my list. 2 more to go. I did read this past year 3 more, so I may be making progress in the series. I just got 2 left. And then we have the Selection series. I'm missing the first book because I just lent it out to a friend of mine. I read the original trilogy, the Selection, the Elite, and the One, and I have the next 2, the spin-off, which follows the Next Generation. So technically I've completed the original trilogy, but I consider it all as a whole, and I have 2 of them left. I have The Heir and The Crown left. These are definitely out of order. This is a series that follows America Singer, who has been chosen to be one of the 25 selected to compete for the prince to marry the prince. It's very similar to The Bachelor. I have a whole review on the original trilogy that I'll leave up here for you. I did enjoy it. The second book kind of irked me a little bit, but the last book made up for it. It's definitely a fluffy read, so if you're looking for a fluffy read, sort of dystopian, I would recommend this one. They're really quick reads. I read these in like a day. Another series that I'm not going to grab out all of them because there's just so many. That's the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. I've only read the first 2 books. And in the last year, I only actually got 1 more done. So I need to pick up Air of Fire really quick. It's been a couple of my TBRs, but it's a big book, so I've been pushing it off. I am enjoying this series. Not her best work, but these were her first books, Sarah J. Maas's first books, and as the series goes along, I've heard that it's gotten better, especially if I look at the ACOTAR series, which I really enjoyed her writing style. So I'm hoping that those series does pick up for me. I've heard that Air of Fire is a turning point where things start to get better, so I need to get on that soon. But this follows a woman named Selena, and Selena is an assassin who in the first book has been hired to enter into this competition to be the king's champion, the king's assassin, and she's looking for her freedom by doing that. And so it follows that whole journey. Very interesting. I love the characters. The Crown of Midnight was not my favorite. I had a hard time getting through this one, but regardless, I still want to continue on with the series. Next up are books that I thought I finished because the series was supposed to be finished, but it's no longer finished. And that's the To All the Boys That I Loved Before trilogy now by Jenny Han. This was a duology. The last one, Always and Forever, Lara Jean, has come out this past year and I haven't yet read it. This is, again, a cute little fluffy read. Not my favorite books, but if you're in the mood for a quick contemporary in the springtime or summertime is when I usually tend to like these kind of books. They're definitely cute. It's for a younger audience. I probably would let my daughter read these in a couple of years because they're pretty wholesome, pretty clean as far as I can remember anyway. I enjoyed them. It follows a girl named Lara Jean who has had crushes on several boys throughout her teenage years, and in order to get over these crushes she writes them a letter and she hides them in her hat box. But one day, per accident or mysteriously or whatever, these letters are sent out to these boys, and so she's dealing with the repercussions of them. I did enjoy it. Like I said, it was cute. Not my favorite series, but definitely a cute contemporary series. Next up is a series that I just started this past month, and that is the Daughter of Smoke and Bones trilogy. By the time you're watching this video, I'm sure I have finished the first one by now. I have about 100 pages left. This one is interesting. It's about a girl named Karu, and she kind of has this mysterious past that she doesn't really know much about. She doesn't know where she came from until one day she meets Akiva, and Akiva is an angel, and it all goes down from there. I'm not going to tell you anything more about that because it will just spoil it for you. It's an interesting story. So far, I love the writing. I'm not a huge fan of the story. I found some of it to be a little bit boring towards the middle of the story, but I do love it enough to want to continue on with this trilogy. Almost done, guys. 2 more. Last up is the Infernal Devices trilogy by Cassandra Clare. I've read the first 2 books, Clockwork Angel and Clockwork Prince. I have yet to read Clockwork Princess. I did enjoy these. They were cute. My favorite part of this series is the sarcastic bantering that goes on between all the characters. This series follows a girl named Tess, and Tess is brought to London where she is kidnapped. She's looking for her brother. She gets kidnapped by these weird creatures who tell her that she has this magical ability, and she apparently can shapeshift. She's rescued by these angels who are shadow hunters, and they fight demons, and it all goes down from there. Interesting series. I enjoyed it. And lastly, we have The Remnant Chronicles by Mary E. Pearson. I own the first 2, Kiss of Deception and The Heart of Betrayal. I read the first one. I have yet to read the second one. This one I read a good 1.5 years ago, so I really should pick up this one. For some reason, it's just not happening. I don't know why. The first book follows a girl named Leah, and Leah is set to marry the prince, but she doesn't want to do that, so she runs away and she hides herself in a town, and she gets a job as a tavern maid. And she's followed by 2 men. One of them is an assassin that was hired to kill her, and the other is the prince who was intended to marry her. She doesn't know which one is which, and neither do we, and it follows their whole story. Very interesting. Like I said, haven't read the second book. I need to get to it soon. Whew, I'm all out of breath. I've been binge filming all day, and this is the last one. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Let me know down below what is the favorite series that you have ever read. I would love to know because I need more series to open up, obviously. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you have not yet, I'd love for you to subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.